My name is Steve Lawson, and I was born in Louisville, Kentucky. I lived there till the age of 15, and my family moved to Cincinnati, Ohio, where I've lived ever since, and I'm currently 60 years old. Well, the thing about addiction, even in the heart of my addiction, I don't think I ever lost that connection with God. I think it was strained. I actually, stopped going to church for periods of time, but I returned even when I was still active in my addiction. I think I was in my mid-20s when I was, I stopped going to church probably, right after high school, and then, when I got heavy into alcohol and drugs, I stopped going, but it was probably in my mid-20s that I started going back, and I started going to the church I still go to, and that was, some 30 some odd years ago. But I was still active in my alcohol use, I was active in my drug addiction, and I was active in my sex addiction, so everything was, still, pretty much out of control, but there was something about the need to be connected that had me go, and so I think that, that was the biggest example I can give about where I thought I had, my faith was, keeping me at least connected to some sense that a higher greater myself was, sustaining me, even though I felt pretty empty on the inside about, who I was and how I felt about myself. But, I could at least, have that little connection. And there is that one thing that, at least in the Catholic Church, that you do is when you give the sign of peace, and that's the one part of the ceremony. And during that part is where I actually felt something, and it just told me that there was hope, even though there wasn't, as far as, anything else significant about feelings or actually, knowing that things were going to get better. I really didn't have much hope in other areas, but I did have that connection, and I think that was the one thing that kept me going, until I actually actively sought help. Well, I hate to say it, this seems a little strange, but it was actually at a Super Bowl party, of all odd places to be, but it was with family members, and it was with actually 4 of my 5 brothers. And the setting was such that we were all drinking, and of course 2 out of the other 4 brothers actually do have a drinking problem. But it was just, what I was viewing was something that I thought, I said, well, this, it seemed like a very sad situation to me, that this was what life was about, and I don't know why that struck me as being odd, but it just, for some reason I told myself, I can't continue to live like this, And of course I also have some mental health issues as well that went along with these other issues that were going on with me, so I had to deal with some ongoing depression, and so I think the depression was bringing me to my knees as well. So I was seeing life through a very, dimly lit lens, and so I think at this particular day, and the reason I say this, I happen to know that I can't tell you the exact, well, I can tell you the exact date. It was in January 23rd, '84, because the next day I went to AA, and that's not my sobriety date, but it's the date I started my journey for recovery. And so it's like it's when I was spiritually reborn. Now, the birth has, been a long affair. It's taken quite a long time. That's some 30 some odd years ago. But it led me from AA into also another 12-step program which deals with sex addiction, and the two I've attended simultaneously ever since. I don't attend as much AA now as I do the SLA, Sex and Love Addicts Anonymous, but the combination of the two programs have saved my life. I went to a conference recently and I heard one of the members say, AA saved my life and SLA gave me one worth living. And I think that was pretty profound because it kind of sums up what these programs have done for me. Well, again, it's like it's one more thing that is that I think has caused me to be of help to others, because it's just one more aspect of me as a person that I've had to look at and come to terms with, and and when I see other people having the same sort of struggles, then I have empathy for that. And growing up, in the 50s and 60s, people didn't really accept it, but now they do. And I think that there's, there's a new level of acceptance, and I think that that's good. But within my own profession of chemical dependency, I think a lot of people, it's one thing that they try to conceal and I think it's, difficult because they don't get the proper help that they need, because it's the one thing holding them back. So again, if I can be of use to others when with my knowledge of what it's like to be gay, what it's like to be gay and in the closet, what it's like to be gay and alcoholic or addicted, all these things come full circle, and it's just one more thing that that I have had to come to and continue to have to come, try to feel comfortable with, So these are just issues that, have been, sort of ongoing, and it's good to be who you are and to accept who you are. And I think that that's the most important thing to tell people, that God made us just exactly who we are.